So I think if you speak now,
Hello.
keep going.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
I'm Phil, and we've got a waveform there. That's very good. So I think we just go like that. Just check we're now recording. Are we?
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay.
All right then. Hello, Hannah.
Hi.
So today you were here to talk about something that I'd never heard of before.
Yep.
So can you tell me what a battle jacket is?
Yeah. So a battle jacket is what I'd identify as a piece of clothing worn by a rocker or metalhead or even punk, whatever rock genre. They'd wear it, and they normally have patches on from their favourite bands and things like that. And they will often wear it to gigs and things, and just a representation of their likes and interests.
So is it possible, if you're at a gig, is everybody wearing a battle jacket? And if so, can you tell their favourite music from what they're wearing? Can you see that straight away?
Not everyone will wear like a battle jacket. Most people will wear like band t-shirts, but battle jackets, I would assume that the bigger the patch, the more the band maybe. Like I've got like the big patch on my battle jacket is Slipknot, and that's one of the first bands that I really came to really enjoy whilst discovering like the rock genre and metal genre.
So you've got your own battle jacket.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Imagine that we're looking at it right now. Just describe it in all of the details. What's it made of? What is it like? Just give me the fullest picture possible of your battle jacket.
My battle jacket is a denim waistcoat, so no sleeves, and I've got silver buttons on the front, and 2 pockets on either sides and 2 chest pockets. As I said before, it's got the Slipknot back patch, and then I've got like an Alter Bridge. I think there's a Iron Maiden and a Metallica patch on there as well.
So is there room on your battle jacket for more patches?
Oh yeah.
So are you always looking to get more patches? Where do you get a patch from? Where do you get those things from?
You can buy them online, but I've actually bought most of them this year when I went to the Download Festival. So you see obviously a lot of people with lots of different patches, and you can normally pick them up from quite a few places, but that's where I found them, most of them.
So from that I understand that is your battle jacket quite new then? So when did your battle jacket I don't know, is a battle jacket born? What's the description? When you get your first one? So what was it like when you decided, okay, the time's come, I'm going to get a battle jacket? What was that like?
It was just very much, I ordered the waistcoat online and it arrived in the post. I think I managed to sew one patch on before I went to download, which is like a cat. Because I was like, this is the only badge I've managed to get on. But that's where then I picked up more patches, and then I think I wore it officially with the other patches onto the Metallica gig I went to recently.
So how did you feel when your battle jacket arrived? You put it on for the first time. What's it like when you're wearing that battle jacket? What do you feel like?
When I first got it, I was quite excited, just because it was like a project. Like I was like, oh, I can do this. Like I can sew badges on, and it will look awesome.
Does it change you when you're wearing it? Are you like when you put it on, is it sort of like, here I go, getting ready?
Yeah, like I think it does change me, because normally I just wear like a leather jacket, whereas this is a bit more. It like points out things that I like, whereas some people might not know bands that I obviously listen to. So for an ordinary person, they might not even know who Slipknot are, and so they might be like, why is she wearing that? Like that's a bit.
So are battle jackets a new thing, or have there always been battle jackets? Like if you like this particular music, are there like generations of battle jackets?
I think there's been generations of battle jackets. Like I think it's more maybe of a punk thing, with like where it started off with like safety pins and just like literally safety pinning on bits to your jacket. My dad had one, and he called it his banger jacket, because they were known for the headbangers who would wear them. So
Does your dad still have it?
he doesn't, which is like, because I said to him he should have passed it on to me. I was like, pass it on to me, Dad. But I think it got thrown out. But he said he had like an AC/DC patch and like maybe a Metallica and Guns N' Roses, like all the old school big bands.
So when you like go to one of these big music festivals, you talked about the Download Festival, where just imagine that, actually you don't have to imagine it, I've never been to one, but tell me what that's like. What's it like? What's the atmosphere like? What are the people like? What's it like to go there?
I would say it's really one of those places where I can just describe it to you as much as I like, but I think until you're there, you don't actually know what it's like. I actually went on my own last year, so I actually joined the loner camp. So I actually went, there was a group of people that organised a camp where you could go on your own and meet other people on your own, so you'd be more in a safer environment if you didn't know anyone.
Are you all wearing your battle jackets? I mean, is that...
Not everyone's wearing a battle jacket. Are
you wearing yours?
This year I was. Even though I didn't have many patches on. I had my one little cat patch. But I would say, I felt cool in it. And it has plenty of pockets, so it's always useful.
Is it possible, do you think that people could feel intimidated if they saw a group of you and your mates and you've all got your uniform on? Does it make you does it give you a sense of belonging to a group when you've all got them on? What's that like? Are you sort of out like a tribe?
Yeah, I'd say it's like we're kind of like this little army of people who obviously not going into war, but I could guess if you're in a mosh pit, you're going to war. But if it's more of a sense of belonging to something, like people obviously like fashion and obviously popular brands like that, whereas mine's I belong to music and this is my genre, this is my place.
So you would say that, in simple terms, the battle jacket and identity, they are closely linked?
Yeah, I would like to say so. I don't wear it much at the moment, but obviously when it's a bit warmer in the weather-wise, I get it out and
It's not very rock star, is it? Well, it's a bit warmer.
Well, it's a bit warmer. Sorry, it's a bit cold at the moment for it.
That's brilliant. Is it possible, for example, if you saw someone in their battle jacket and their musical tastes were very different, does it encourage you not to speak? Would it encourage you not to speak to somebody if their battle jacket was very different to yours, if you know what I mean? Is it like, can you spot people in the crowd and go, oh, they're not my cup of tea, or we're not going to get on? Does it work like that?
I don't think I've ever met someone who I haven't been able to talk to at Download. Not even if it's just standing next to someone in the crowd, or even if you're in the queue getting food. They're always quite friendly people. I would say pretty much everyone's quite friendly in that community, because you're all there for the same reason. You're all there to enjoy yourself and have a good time, even if you are drunk, talking out of your mind to someone about their shoes. It's just, Download.
So I've got a question for you. What happens when a battle jacket is full up? How do you keep one? Do you go to another one? Do you sort of add layers? Is it like something you just keep adding more and more layers to? What happens when your battle jacket has got all the patches and it's done? What's the destiny of a battle jacket?
I would probably say most people would maybe start a second one. I think. I don't know if that's true for everyone. And I have seen battle jackets where they are literally like cloak length, so they just flow like a cape from behind, which is actually a really nice sight. Even I think the one I saw at Download, he had the big back patches all over it, and they were mostly I think Norwegian black metal bands. So it was a really cool thing. I was like, whoa, look at that cape. That's amazing. And it probably gave me a strange look, what? But I was just admiring his jacket from afar.
Can you imagine ever having a cape?
I don't think I could have a cape. I don't know. All I can think of is The Incredibles, like, no caps.
No caps, darlings.
No caps.
So, in terms of your music, where did your interest in that? How did you become interested in this genre of music? Where does that come from? Your first impression of like, yes, this music is about me, and I like this, and this is what I'm going to sort of commit to. Where did that come from?
I would say it's probably like in my late teens. Like my dad pretty much listened to like AC/DC and things, and Led Zeppelin and all like the old traditional 80s rock bands. Like, I was brought up on a lot of Bon Jovi as well, so I'd probably say Bon Jovi was the start of it, and then from there I got into slightly heavier things or heavier music. But I think, yeah, and then it wasn't until I went to download 4 years ago that I was like, yeah, this is definitely my thing. Like,
what would you have to say for people who might think that, they sort of look at, I don't know, footage, news coverage of sort of rock fans and sort of who think that they're sort of a scary bunch with all of their kind of like black denim and their patches and their Slipknot stuff? What would you say? What's been your experience of the rock community?
Like, they might seem scary at first. Like, obviously you're surrounded by this bunch of people who are like all dressed in black with like hair spiked or however they may want to dress, but actually they can be the friendliest of people in the world. Like, I remember meeting some guy on the train on the way home from Metallica, and he was like, "Oh, you went to the Metallica gig?" I went, "I did," and he was just chatting to me on the train.
Was that because you were wearing your battle jacket?
It could have, yeah, it could have been like, or I was also on my own, so he's like, "Oh," and we were both heading the same way, and he's like, "Oh, did you go by any chance?" I was like, "Yeah."
So if you were out and you had your battle jacket on, and have you ever been out with it and someone's just giving you the nod as if to say, "Yep, we're the same tribe"? That sort of that recognition between kind of people.
I would like to say I have, or people have seen me like, "Oh, hopefully she looks cool," or whatever. But it, like, when I was at the Metallica gig, like literally there was hundreds of you around, so and we're all going in the same direction, so I think everyone's a bit like.
So has your dad seen your battle jacket? Obviously, does he know that?
I think I've shown him pictures. I don't think he's seen it in person yet, but hopefully he would appreciate and admire it.
So he hasn't got any advice. You need some more here. You got to,
Well, I've got to get some more patches before I can put any more on.
So, just another question about the patches. Do you have to earn the patches? How does that work? When do you decide the time has come for a new patch? How does that happen?
I normally like to put on patches of bands I've seen. The only patch on my battle jacket of the band I haven't seen yet is Guns N' Roses.
So is that like a mission, like that? It's on there, which means that you have committed to seeing them live.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'm going to see them live next year. So
really, that it is literally about you earn those badges. It's how you've had the experience, and really the relationship is you go and then you get to add the patch.
Yeah, that's how I like to view it anyway. If I've seen the band, I can wear the patch. Obviously, some people might be different. Like, they might just put on, like, "Oh, I like that band, so I'll put that on my jacket." Obviously, there's some bands that I will never see, like people like Led Zeppelin, Queen, and stuff like that. So,
could you add a patch from a band that are no longer is that allowed?
Yeah, I would like to say it is. Like, a lot of people have, like, loads of the older bands or bands that may not be around anymore. So, like, I think then it's like a tribute in a way. Like, wearing their patch is a tribute to the band.
This is going rather well.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's have a look here and see. Okay. So one thing I'm interested in you when you're listening to when you're at a festival or a gig and it's sort of like massively loud, and so what is it like physically to be one of many in a sort of a stadium sort of context or at a festival? What's it like to have the music sort of emotionally and physically? What does it feel like to be in the music in that way?
It's like an adrenaline rush sometimes. I remember seeing a band, and it was like the crowd was so into it that you just kind of have to move with the crowd. You couldn't like you weren't able to stand still. You just had to go with the crowd because like if you wanted to stand still, you just wouldn't. At one point, I think at the festival this year I went to, like I was just knocked off my feet, literally, and all these hands just came up and picked me up. So I was just up in like what it didn't even feel like seconds. It was just like I was down and I got back up. I was like, oh, thanks guys. But yeah, the like normally I stand quite near the front as well, so you can feel the vibrations of like the bass and the drums go straight through you, and yeah, it's just it's a really weird sensation. Yeah, I don't think rock concerts compare to anything else that I've seen. Like I'd always choose a rock concert over a pop one any day because I just feel like there's just the way the crowd reacts. Like you even get crowd surfers that come over the top, so you have to be a bit wary at times. Otherwise, you get booted in the back of your head by some guy size 10 feet. But yeah, it's a great feeling.
Have you ever had any aggro when you're out, sort of you got your battle jacket on, or have you ever do you ever get strange looks? Do you ever get a sense that people are sort of making judgments about you or your interests because of what you're wearing and because you've sort of adopted this kind of these tribe colours?
I probably have received strange looks, but I probably just didn't care at the time, or I've not even noticed. Like I'm very much of a person like I'll wear what I want, and if somebody else doesn't like it, then F them, kind of thing.
So do you have any? Is there a patch? Is there a band that you've named one already? But is there a holy grail patch? Is there a something that's at the top of the tree, sort of like a wish dream? When you imagine your battle jacket, you think one day I'll be able to pay tribute to this group. Is there something there, like a gig and something that you're absolutely like, yes, one day I'll be able to pay tribute to that?
Probably Guns N' Roses, like just because I've always wanted to see them, and I didn't get tickets for their the stadium tour that they did because they were like 130 quid. I was like, no, no thanks. But because of where hopefully they're playing at Download next year, so hopefully I'll be able to see them, and they're going to play. Apparently, I've heard they're playing their full set, so I'm very excited.
Lovely. Just have a look at your notes and just see if there's anything that you because you said there's some great stuff in there. You've done all that. That's really good. The Cape guy, he was in there. That was very good. It was brilliantly described. What do you think? Anything that we
can't think of anything else.
So why don't we just do that?